My mother's 60th birthday was supposed to be a celebration of family and love, but the moment my daughter walked into the dining room, everything changed. I'm Rachel Porter, 32, and I've spent the last 5 years building my bakery from scratch while raising my 8-year-old daughter, Lily, alone. That evening, the party glowed with laughter and clinking glasses until Lily stepped forward, her favorite pink dress stained with something dark. My heart stopped when I saw it. Red punch, dripping down the front of her dress like a wound, but it wasn't the stain that made my blood run cold. It was the scratch marks on her arm, angry and fresh. My sister's daughter, a slender 13-year-old named Bree, stood near the dessert table, smirking. "She's so clumsy," Bree announced loudly. I tried to help her, but she just fell into the table. Nervous laughter rippled through the room. My parents exchanged glances but said nothing. My sister Vanessa, always the composed one, adjusted her pearl necklace and smiled tightly. "Kids will be kids, Rachel. Don't make a scene at Mom's party." I knelt beside Lily, my voice trembling. "What happened, sweetheart?" She hesitated, her eyes darting to my sister. Then, in a whisper that seemed to echo through the suddenly silent room, she said, "Why does Aunt Vanessa always tell Bree to be mean to me?" The room froze. My sister's wineglass slipped from her manicured fingers, shattering against the hardwood floor. Her face drained of color, eyes wide with something I'd never seen before: fear. The guests stood motionless, their champagne flutes suspended mid-air. My parents stared at Vanessa, then at me, confusion and discomfort battling on their faces. I pulled Lily closer, my mind racing. What did my daughter mean? What had my sister been telling her daughter? And why did Vanessa look like she'd just been caught in the worst kind of lie? I didn't have answers yet, but I knew one thing for certain. This wasn't just a spilled drink or a childish squabble. This was something darker, something that had been hiding beneath the surface of our family for far too long. Have you ever discovered that someone you trusted was working against you all along? Share your story in the comments. How did you find out? And what did you do about it? 3 days before my mother's birthday party, I was closing up Sweet Beginnings, the bakery I'd built from nothing after my divorce. The evening was quiet, the scent of fresh bread still lingering in the air. I was wiping down the counter when my phone buzzed with a text from my best friend and business partner, Dana. "Can you come to the back patio? There's something you need to hear." Dana had been with me since the beginning, helping me transform a rundown storefront into the most popular bakery in Willowbrook. I trusted her completely, which is why her serious tone made my stomach tighten. I found her near the outdoor seating area, her face troubled. She pulled me behind the hedges, pressing a finger to her lips. Through the leaves, I could see my sister Vanessa at a table with her husband, Mark. They must have stopped by after some event, not realizing we were still here. Vanessa's voice carried clearly in the still air. "The bakery should have been mine. Mom and Dad gave her the startup money that was supposed to be my inheritance, and now she's actually making it successful. It's not fair." Mark nodded, sipping his coffee. "So what's the plan?" "Bree's been doing her part. Every time she's around Lily, she makes sure that kid knows she's nothing special. Rachel's so focused on the bakery, she barely notices. And if Lily starts acting out or becomes difficult, Rachel will have to choose between the business and her daughter. Either way, she loses." My hands trembled as I listened. Dana gripped my arm, her eyes wide with shock. Vanessa continued, her voice cold and calculating. "Mom and Dad already think Rachel's too soft, too emotional. If we can make her look like she's failing as a mother, they'll finally see that I should have gotten that money, that I should be running things." Mark chuckled. "And your parents still don't know about the bakery loan? They think Rachel did it all on her own. They don't know I convinced them to give her less than what she needed, so she'd have to struggle. But she managed anyway." Vanessa's voice turned bitter. "She always manages." I wanted to storm over there, to scream at my sister, to demand an explanation. But Dana held me back, shaking her head. "Not yet," she whispered. "You need to understand the full picture first. Think about Lily." She was right. I thought about the past few months, how Lily had become quieter, more withdrawn, how she'd started having nightmares, how she'd begged me not to let her go to Aunt Vanessa's house anymore. I'd attributed it to the stress of growing up, to missing her father who'd moved across the country after our divorce. But now, her behavior made terrible sense. Later that night, I sat in Lily's room, watching her sleep. Her arm was wrapped around her stuffed elephant, her face peaceful, in a way it rarely was when she was awake. I thought about all the family dinners where Bree had whispered things to Lily that made her cry. The times Vanessa had offered to babysit only for Lily to come home upset and unwilling to talk about it. I'd always given my sister the benefit of the doubt. Growing up, Vanessa had been the star, the firstborn, the one who got straight A's and won beauty pageants. I'd been the quiet one, content to bake cookies with our grandmother, while Vanessa chased achievements. Our parents had always favored her, praising her accomplishments while overlooking mine. I'd accepted it, thinking that's just how families worked. But using a child, my child, to hurt me? That was unforgivable. I called Dana the next morning. I need proof, I told her. Something undeniable. Before Mom's party. Already on it, she replied. I've been keeping notes on every time Bree's been cruel to Lily when Vanessa was nearby. Dates, incidents, witnesses. And Rachel, there's something else. The building inspector who flagged your bakery for violations last month? He's Mark's golf buddy. My chest tightened. That inspection had cost me thousands in unnecessary repairs and nearly tanked my summer revenue. I'd thought it was just bad luck. Now I knew it was sabotage. What do you want to do? Dana asked. I looked at Lily's school photo on my desk, her gap-toothed smile bright and trusting. I want to protect my daughter, and I want my sister to face consequences for what she's done. The party arrived faster than I expected. I spent the morning decorating my parents' house, hanging streamers and arranging flowers, while Lily helped set the table. Vanessa arrived late, as always, making an entrance in a designer dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Bree trailed behind her, eyes immediately finding Lily with an expression that made my skin crawl. The afternoon passed with forced smiles and shallow conversation. I watched Bree like a hawk, noticing how she maneuvered Lily away from other kids, how she whispered things that made my daughter's face fall. When Bree finally led Lily toward the refreshment table, I followed at a distance. I saw it happen. Bree grabbed a cup of punch and, when she thought no one was looking, poured it directly onto Lily's dress. When Lily gasped, Bree scratched her arm, leaving angry red marks. "If you tell anyone," Bree hissed, "I'll make sure everyone knows you're a liar," just like Aunt Vanessa said. My vision went red. But before I could intervene, Lily stumbled back into the dining room, her dress ruined, her arm bleeding, and that's when she said it. The words that shattered our family's careful facade. Why does Aunt Vanessa always tell Bree to be mean to me? The silence that followed was deafening. Vanessa's wine glass shattered on the floor, the sound cutting through the tension like a knife. "Lily, sweetie, what do you mean?" my mother asked, her voice strained. But I wasn't going to let Vanessa control this narrative. Not anymore. She means exactly what she said. I stepped forward, my voice steady despite the rage burning in my chest. Vanessa has been using Bree to hurt Lily, to hurt me. I heard her admit it 3 days ago. Vanessa's face cycled through shock, fear, and finally landed on indignation. "That's ridiculous. You're being paranoid, Rachel. You've always been too sensitive." "I was there," Dana said, stepping forward. "I heard everything. About how you've been trying to make Rachel fail. About the building inspector. About using Bree to target Lily." The guests shifted uncomfortably, some heading for the door with mumbled excuses. My parents stood frozen, their expressions a mixture of confusion and denial. "This is absurd," Vanessa laughed, but it was hollow. "You're ruining Mom's birthday with these accusations." My father finally spoke, his voice low. "Let's discuss this privately. No need to air family matters in front of everyone." "No," I said firmly. "That's exactly what you've always done. Swept things under the rug to protect Vanessa's image, to protect the family reputation. But I'm done protecting someone who hurts my child." I turned to Bree, who had gone pale. "Tell them the truth. What did your mother tell you to do to Lily?" Bree's lower lip trembled. She looked at Vanessa, then at the floor. Mom said Lily was spoiled and that we needed to teach her that she wasn't special. She said Aunt Rachel was taking things that belonged to us and that if we made Lily miserable enough, maybe—" "Bree, stop!" Vanessa snapped. But Bree continued, tears streaming down her face. She said if Lily was unhappy enough, Aunt Rachel would be too distracted to run the bakery, and then everything would be fair again. The room erupted. My mother gasped, clutching my father's arm. Mark stood behind Vanessa, his face unreadable. And Vanessa, for the first time in her perfect life, had no clever response. "You used your own daughter," I said, my voice shaking with anger. "You turned her into a weapon against an 8-year-old. What kind of mother does that?" Vanessa's composure finally cracked. "You don't understand. You've always had it easy. Mom and Dad felt sorry for you after your divorce. They gave you money for that bakery when I'm the one who actually earned their support. I worked my whole life to be the best, and you just stumbled into success." "I worked for everything I have," I replied. "I built my bakery with my own hands while raising a daughter alone. You don't get to rewrite that because you're jealous." My mother stepped forward, her face ashen. "Vanessa, is this true? Did you really do these things?" For a moment, Vanessa said nothing. Then she lifted her chin, defiant. "I did what I had to do to protect my family's interests. Rachel was never supposed to succeed. She was always the backup, the afterthought. But somehow, she ended up with everything." Her words hung in the air, ugly and raw. I saw my parents' faces shift, the realization dawning that their golden child wasn't who they thought she was. "Get out," my mother said quietly. Vanessa blinked. "Excuse me? Get out of my house. Take your husband and your daughter and leave. I need time to process this." "Mom, you can't be serious. It's your birthday. Rachel is overreacting, as usual." But my father shook his head, his voice heavy with disappointment. "We've made excuses for you your whole life, Vanessa. We overlooked things we shouldn't have because we wanted to believe you were perfect. But this, hurting a child to hurt your sister? That's not something we can excuse." Vanessa's face contorted with rage. "You're choosing her over me? After everything I've done for this family?" "We're choosing our granddaughter," my mother said, kneeling to wrap her arms around Lily. "And we're choosing to finally see the truth." Mark grabbed Vanessa's arm, pulling her toward the door. "Let's go. This isn't worth the fight." Vanessa yanked away from him, pointing a finger at me. "This isn't over, Rachel. You think you've won, but you have no idea what I'm capable of." "I know exactly what you're capable of," I replied calmly. "That's why I've already documented everything. The harassment, the sabotage, the abuse. If you come near my daughter again, I won't hesitate to get a restraining order." Her face went white. For a moment, I thought she might lunge at me. But Mark pulled her away, practically dragging her out the door. Bree followed, throwing one last guilty look at Lily before disappearing into the night. The remaining guests quietly made their excuses and left. Soon, it was just me, Lily, Dana, and my parents in the wreckage of what was supposed to be a celebration. My mother sank into a chair, tears streaming down her face. I had no idea. How could I not see it? "Vanessa was always good at hiding things," I said, sitting beside her. "She showed you what she wanted you to see." "We favored her," my father admitted, his voice rough. "We pushed you aside because you were quieter, less demanding. We thought you didn't need us as much, but we were wrong. I didn't have the energy for recriminations. What matters now is Lily. She's been suffering, and I didn't see it either. I was too focused on the bakery, on making ends meet." Lily climbed into my lap, her small body warm against mine. "It's okay, Mommy. You see it now." Her simple words broke something inside me. I held her tight, promising silently that no one would ever hurt her again. Dana stayed late that night, helping me clean up while my parents put Lily to bed. "What are you going to do about Vanessa?" she asked. "Whatever I have to. I'm filing a report with the police about Bree's assault on Lily. It's documented now, with witnesses. And I'm talking to my lawyer about the sabotage at the bakery. That could get ugly. It's already ugly. But I'm not going to pretend everything's fine for the sake of family harmony. Not anymore." The next few weeks were a whirlwind. I filed a police report, and while the officers were sympathetic, they explained that prosecuting a minor was complicated. However, they noted the incident on record, which would support any future restraining order. My lawyer sent a cease and desist letter to Vanessa and Mark, warning them against any further contact or interference with my business. To my surprise, my parents became my strongest allies. They'd been shaken by the revelation of who their daughter really was, and they channeled their guilt into action. My father quietly spread the word among his golf buddies about the building inspector's corruption, leading to an investigation that would eventually cost the man his job. My mother started spending every weekend at the bakery, helping with customers and doting on Lily. "We can't make up for the years we didn't see you," my mother told me one afternoon, "but we want to try." Lily started therapy, and slowly, her nightmares faded. She began making friends again, laughing more freely, trusting more easily. One evening, she presented me with a drawing of our family. Me, her, Grandma, Grandpa, and Dana, all standing in front of the bakery. "These are the people who love me," she explained. Vanessa and Bree were notably absent. 6 months later, I expanded Sweet Beginnings. We knocked down the wall to the adjacent storefront and doubled our seating capacity. I hired 2 new bakers and promoted Dana to co-owner, a decision I should have made years ago. "You sure about this?" she asked when I presented her with the partnership papers. "You've been my partner in everything but name since the beginning. It's time to make it official." The grand reopening was a celebration unlike any other. Half the town showed up, including the mayor, who declared it Sweet Beginnings Day in Willowbrook. Lily helped me cut the ribbon, her smile so wide it seemed to light up the entire street. Vanessa never showed up, of course. I heard through the grapevine that she and Mark had moved to another state after his company transferred him. Whether it was coincidence or escape, I didn't care. What mattered was that she was gone, and Lily was safe. But on the day of our reopening, I received a letter. No return address, but I recognized Vanessa's handwriting immediately. My hands trembled as I opened it, half expecting threats or accusations. Instead, I found a single paragraph. "I'm not sorry for wanting more, but I'm sorry for how I tried to get it. Lily didn't deserve what I put her through. Neither did you. I don't expect forgiveness, and I'm not asking for it. I just wanted you to know that I understand now why Mom and Dad chose you. You were always stronger than I gave you credit for. V." I stared at the letter for a long time. Then I folded it carefully and tucked it into my desk drawer. Not forgiveness, not reconciliation, just acknowledgement. Perhaps that was all I could expect from Vanessa. Lily found me in the office later, her face streaked with frosting from helping the customers. "Mommy, are you okay?" I pulled her onto my lap, breathing in the sweet smell of sugar and childhood. "I'm better than okay, sweetheart. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be." She nodded, satisfied with my answer. "Me too." That evening, after the last customer left and the closed sign was flipped, I stood outside with Lily and Dana, looking up at the new sign. Sweet Beginnings, Est, 2020. The letters gleamed in the setting sun, a testament to everything we'd overcome. "You know what I learned from all this?" I said to Dana. "That your sister is a monster?" I laughed despite myself. "Well, yes. But also that family isn't just about blood. It's about who shows up for you, who protects you, who believes in you even when things look impossible." Dana squeezed my shoulder. "Then I guess we're family." "We always have been." Lily tugged at my hand, pointing at the sky where the first stars were appearing. "Look, Mommy. Wishes." I knelt beside her, following her gaze. "What would you wish for?" She thought for a moment, then smiled. "Nothing. I have everything I want." And standing there, with my daughter's hand in mine and my true family beside me, I realized she was right. We had everything we needed, not because our story ended perfectly, but because we'd learned to write our own ending. One filled with trust, with love, and with the sweet beginning of something new.